Hello there. Something everyone seems to love nowadays is the new Dune movie series, and I can't blame them. It's got Timothée Chalamet, it's got Zendaya, it's got the Dennis guy. He directed the new Blade Runner, which everyone loves, but no one saw. And I'm here to tell you, as an elitist and a snob, I read the book, and I'm definitely better than you for it. In all seriousness, the Dune book by Frank Herbert is so phenomenal. It is definitely my favorite book, but I'm here to tell you something that you might not have really noticed in the movies because inherently they can't really talk about it as much, it being a film and the book being a book. In the book, the world of Dune has gone through a history of wars against robots, and the entire galaxy or universe has decided that they are going to ban AI and robots. And I gotta tell ya, I love that idea. Now, one of the reasons I find this really interesting is because I hate AI and robots. When Elon Musk's Optimus comes out, I'm definitely gonna become a robot racist. I'm gonna be pushing that little thing around. I'm gonna be calling it whatever robot slurs are trendy at that point of time. I do not like them. And the reason I don't like them is manyfold. Number one, I think it is greatly concerning that nobody seems to understand the implications of artificial intelligence. Imagine a world in which we can artificially create a robot with your exact personality. It can think, speak, react, tell the same jokes, enjoy the same hobbies in every single way that you can. Except for it doesn't need to eat, it doesn't have unnecessary mood swings, it doesn't piss people off. Imagine I'm your friend. Imagine I can just download that robot personality and interact with it without having to deal with all the flaws of interacting with you. What I'm getting at here is that the fields of AI and robotics will eventually eliminate not just the need, but the desire for humans to interact with one another. And all that will be left in terms of human interaction will be competing interests. I do not like that one bit. Even seeing all this AI art stuff coming out with the Secret Invasion title crawl, first of all, it just looks bad. But second of all, to me, and I know this is definitely insecurity talking, but this just hurts my soul. I don't understand why we as a culture and as a species are letting AI art become as big as it is. A lot of people like to say, bees make honey, humans make technology. And those are the types of people who probably really like AI, and those are the types of people I want to scream at. Because the number one thing that humans make is not technology, it is art. Art that speaks to God, whether you believe in him or not. Art that speaks to something deeper that makes you feel. Art that makes you feel love and anger and hate and sorrow. All of those emotions are way more real than anything you can really describe. It's not exactly tangible, but it's undeniably there. Now, the reason I wanted to bring this up today is because I read a book recently that reminded me of this plot point in Dune. The book is called Mastery by Robert Greene. You might know Robert Greene for his work on the 48 Laws of Power, which I think is his most famous book. Anyway, in the book, he talks about the idea of mastery, in which a human being, through about 10,000 hours of experience, can become a master in a given field. He gives loads of examples like Albert Einstein and a couple others whose names I won't mention because you probably wouldn't know them, and I didn't really know them until I read the book. But the point is, they are masters. But a point that he brought up in the book that I found almost counterintuitive, at least a little bit surprising, was the idea that computers and these tools that are supposed to aid us in the works that we create, from business to art to technology or whatever field it is actually counterproductive to what we're trying to build. And initially you think that and you go, that doesn't make any sense. These tools not only make it easier for people who are masters to complete the task, but they make it easier for people who don't have that great skill set to make something that they feel is fulfilling. And while those arguments are definitely valid and true, what they miss is the fact that when you get too used to these tools, you cut out an entire aspect of the creation process. And when you do that, your mind is no longer fully connecting to the ideas. You aren't able to fully develop yourself as a master. And I see all of this AI and all of these tools that come out, and I can't help but feel like Robert Greene is right. I can't help but feel that these tools have made us, as a whole, worse creators. After all, it's a cliche to talk about how things are made worse nowadays. People talk about planned obsolescence, cars are worse, art is worse. Even on the basic level of architecture, you look at old buildings with these grand designs and it speaks to you on a deeper level. And almost every modern building built in the last 50 years is not just forgettable, but it's kind of an eyesore. And that's what brings me back to Dune. In Dune, there are these things called mentats. And mentats are essentially human computers. They take the place of AI and robotics. They are people, biological systems, who have the ability to think at a super level. They are these masters, like Robert Greene talks about. And yes, the world of Dune is filled with fiction and this fictional spice that allows you to have these powers of sight that are supernatural and not actually tangible. It still excites me. It touches something deep inside of me where I want to live in the future world of Dune, even with all of its problems. Because I look at the future that AI and robots are going to bring, and I cannot help but feel pessimistic. This book was written by Frank Herbert and is hailed as one of the great classics of literature. You look at Asimov's I, Robot, you look at Philip K. Dick's Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, which is what Blade Runner was based on. And all of these great minds who wrote works that touched people on a very deep level have all essentially said, hey, we at the very least need to be careful about robots and AI and what they can do to us. And right now, I look at people like Sam Altman, and all of my fears watching him try and dispel our worries about AI are just confirmed by seeing him speak. So I kind of made this video to cry out into the world. Can we please be the ones who are the masters? Can we please reject this world that's reliant on artificial intelligence? Can we embrace the idea that we become the computers and that we become the masters? Because right now, I look down the path that our society is going, and it does not look great. And even with all of its politics and this weird, crazy stuff that happens, you know what? I actually look forward to a future like Dune's.